Here is my newest chameleon enclosure. I bought a veiled chameleon a couple of months ago, 3 months ago, lost track, from Petco, and he was larger, so he was older, and is a male. It's a veiled chameleon, and I've been moving and balancing around to different enclosures, trying to keep him happy. And he came from a very large enclosure, and he has never since been happy when I've got him home. This is the newest what I'm doing because it's winter time, and I've got to kind of consolidate to give them warm spaces. Plus, I have plants, a lot of plants. If you have chameleons, you got a lot of plants. Plus, I just have plants interest in general. I love plants, and so this is just a perfect excuse to have more plants. Hibiscus plant is one of my main plants in there. I've had other hibiscus plants that I loved and did really well. My dog and my cat and the locusts outside killed 2 of them. It's just impossible to, the cat would pee and poop in there on the plant, and cat pee is very acidic. My dog, for some reason, would rip the plants out of the pots and run through the yard shaking them and tear up the bulb and just immediately commit suicide to the hibiscus plants. And then the locusts and the plant viruses outside, mealybugs, and just everything that could possibly happen that doesn't happen to other plants always happened to the hibiscus plants. So I had beautiful hibiscus plants, and there's my chameleon right there, Caeser. He's got a lot of room to crawl, to climb around, and he does. He goes all the way down to the ground, and then he goes all the way up to the top, and he's soon going to figure a way to go up there with some of the things that I need to store up there. But, you know, guess that works as long as he can't hurt himself. He'll go up there and get away from the lights and crawl around up there. He loves climbing and going everywhere except where he needs to be. So I've got UVB, a 5.0 bulb, fluorescent bulb that's turned off on a timer. And I'm going to show you my greatest achievement, my new daytime, nighttime thermostat controller that controls a different temperature per day versus the night. So, and in particular, it's going to lower the temperature a little bit into the 70s at night, and then during the day, when it hits the timer, it's going to go back to about 86, 87 degrees in here. And that's pretty much the climate and weather temperature-wise that this species of chameleon, veiled chameleon. So all my plants are in here, and it's going to get cold outside, and they can't survive their tropical plants. I'm going to show you real quick what Caeser came from. I purchased a $250 eco-friendly cage for Caeser with sliding glass doors. Good cage. And then I had all my plants, some of the smaller plants in there. I just bought that background, all these climbing limbs. Perfect for a chameleon. A water mister system that I purchased to make him happy. And he wasn't happy in here. It's just, he was never satisfied. He wasn't happy. It's a pretty decent sized cage, but obviously Caeser was never happy. I could tell just by the way he acted that he needed possibly more room, more freedom. You know, I don't know what. He didn't like it in there. But this cage will get repurposed, or he'll go back in here next summer, and or snakes will go in there, or a new reptile will go in there, and so it's not going to go to waste. And then I was thinking about putting him here in this closet with my boas. In here I have my boas and the children's python, but it would have taken up too much room, and the chameleon would have had to stay in the cage because the boas roam free in here, and boas and chameleons, and I'm not sure that they would even manage to get along. Pythons, or the boas, children's python in here. The boas, my dwarf boas, may eat the chameleon. Not worth finding out. There's one back there. But this has got its own heating in here, and timer system, and lights, UVB lights, lots of different things. But so, and this setup here makes it where I can conserve energy and use less power output and still keep it a controlled heating environment, versus in a cage like this with vents on the side in a larger room that will probably get down into the 60s. I had 5 or 6 lights up here on the top, different heating lights, plant lights, and ceramic heat emitter. I had lots of things going on up here, drawing lots of power in addition to the other places and the other heating sources I got going on. And I turned this, one of my reptile terrariums, into a little plant sanctuary. Got lots of plants. My jade plant over there, and just more decorative, nothing in there. But that's where Caesar came from. So he appears to be much happier in here. I can put more plants in here. I've got grow lights, LED grow lights, and right on the other side there, as I mentioned, I got a UVB bulb 5.0 zoom ed light there that turns on about 9 and goes off about 4. Kind of mimics the sun. And another grow light right there for these different tropical plants. The big thing that I did was I got this day-night timer, made a video about it, and it's kind of difficult to set up because of, you know, testing it. And you got to test it during the day and during the night, and it's on a 24-hour military clock type timer. So if you're not used to that type of setting a timer for 24 hours, it's very difficult to determine AM and PM for common folk like me, and so it's very difficult to set up and get the heaters set right. And down here I have 2 heaters. That's the whole point of that thermostat, is you got to have 2 heating sources. So I got 2 ceramic heat emitters that have a fan and blow out heat. And so this keeps this room at the day temp of about 86 to 87, as I mentioned before, and at night about 73 to 75. Because it will get, 59, 60, 61 degrees in the rest of my house. I like it cool. So the reptiles need their own environment to stay healthy and warm. Had to buy that, at the pet store. Anything at the pet store is marked up 50%, but that's the only place I knew to get that. That is a kennel, Kennel, a kennel base plastic pad, that's raised up on the edges so that water and mess will stay in there until you clean it. That was $40 alone. It was like $38, $37 with tax, so about $42. So it got pretty expensive. Made in China, maybe a tariff raised that by $5. And then I had to buy these cinder blocks from Home Depot, which was not too bad, $2.39 a piece. And I bought 4 of them. Already had the board. Had to cut that down just a little bit so I could stack some more of my individual plants right there. And trays from the dollar store, little metal trays, so that collects water, and that when I water the plants, and those were $1.35 each, so I got 3 of those. So save money in some places, and in other places I had to just swallow it and buy the expensive pet store stuff. But yep, this is it. I think Caesar has it pretty well. I'm going to put obviously a couple more plants in here. I have more plants. Pothos, I got to put Pothos somewhere, but he likes it in here. He climbs all around, and he'll actually climb up to those places where you would hang a coat and walks across, and then tries to walk across this light, which I don't want him doing, but he's going to do what he wants to do, and then he tries to climb up this potted plant right here, climbs up here, and then tries to get up here and then roam around. I had to move a lot of stuff out of here that I'm trying to find new homes for. But that's a pretty cool setup. I'm pretty happy with it. If he manages, he's going to do really well in here. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think he likes it as bright, which is weird because chameleons, you know, obviously thrive on sunlight. That's my fans kicking on from the different heating elements down on the floor. But he likes to kind of get into dark places and get out of the light, even though it's not hot in here. It's only about 85 degrees, and that's during the daytime, and at nighttime it'll drop down between 73 to about 75 degrees. And he likes to hang out right here on this potted plant, sits right in the center, likes to get from the hibiscus plant over to here, but I moved this to get it out of his way so he doesn't have as easy access to get up to the top. Thanks for viewing. Have a great day. Bye-bye.